Wigan Official. Hope everybody had a great week. In case you didn't notice, the weather changed overnight. We're running out of shorts about the last afternoons of the last 2 to 3 days. Won't be doing that today. But yeah, like I said, we're getting, as we turn the week here for all us, for my fellow educators, it's a good week. So getting into first semester finals and stuff like that. And again, if you're more the elementary type age, you complain to me and stuff. And I can still remember one time, y'all semester week, I was like, all I do is look down there and y'all having parties and play on the playground. You know, and I said, and when I went to college, I had the same opportunity to check elementary education of this. Now, God bless elementary people. First of all, they're special. Like I said, I always said, the worst 30 minutes of my life was 30 minutes I had to spend with kindergartners through second graders at a PE class one time. Not because of them. It was not their fault. They was just being who they were. It was just, like I said, a good Lord bless Scott with patience to deal with adolescents. And, you know, because I get that too. I don't say how you deal with them. Like, it's about anything. It's all about relationships, you know, building trust and all that. But anyway, we digress. All right, so getting into James chapter 2 today. Practicing the Truth, what I entitled it. It has rich man, poor man for, now again, I'll age myself here. Wasn't there a show called that in the 70s, Rich Man, Poor Man or something? Am I right on that? It's like a series or like, I can't remember. But anyway, that just stuck out when I saw that. But I got right there, and y'all finished the statement. It's not what you know, but who you know. Is that still applicable in society today? Yeah. And I tell you what, in the coaching world, and again, I apologize for athletic references, that's my background. But, you know, I'd say there's been a few jobs I would say I got what I call a cold hire, where I knew no one, I walked in there, and I just had to kill it in the interview. And there's a couple jobs like that. But most jobs I've gotten is because I knew the principal. I had a prior relationship with somebody on the staff or the principal. And, you know, and whether right, wrong, or indifferent, you know, that's just the way the game's played. So it gets to that, you know, what we're getting into right here is, as I start tying it in, and what James is going to show us today, that's not the way the Christian walk's supposed to be. I mean, yeah, we got people we know and stuff, but we're going to see here practicing the truth and stuff. And I'm sure there's all probably stories that we can share where it's not what you know, but who you know has affected you personally. You know, in a job search, there's been jobs like, man, he got that job, and then there's been a lot of times I've interviewed for jobs, and I look back and I see you got it, and I'm like, if I'd known that, I wouldn't waste my time because I could connect the dots. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're not going to talk about the world. We're going to talk about our walk, Christian love, and how we need to be treating, you know, and basically, like I said, it's just to kind of put it, last couple of weeks, we've discussed patience and being tested. Today, it's going to be more practicing the truth. And we start off right here in James chapter 2, if you're not there. And it says, my brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect to persons. Now, my entire, adult life, because again, I think I've shared with you before my testimony, I didn't get saved till I was 18 years old, right before summer of my senior year in high school. And I'll be honest with you, over the last, got to do the math, how old I am, 37 years, I've heard that term. I've heard people say, God has no respect of persons. And I really have wondered, I was like, I think I know what that means, but I really didn't know what that means. And, you know, because it's like, surely God respects me, you know, or whatever, you know, stuff like that. And then I understood, and this lesson right here kind of cleared it up for me. Because respect of persons, what does that really mean? If we can put it in terms. What do y'all think? What are some terms here? So in respect to persons, what's James talking about right there when we see it? By the way, that term, I think I researched it. I think it appeared there's 12 occurrences of it in the Bible. Is what research I could find. Six relating to humans, 6 relating to God.
I take it that no favorites, it's not picking you over you.
Yeah, well, there's no favorites, and that's exactly what I have right there. Is basically i.e. favoritism. That's what I put down right there. It says respect the persons, i.e. favoritism. And as we look at it, we see in those 12 times that it's referred to, 6 times, as I said, it's in reference to humans doing it, which is a sin, and then 6 times of God not doing it. So he's going to be, we get the example there, don't we? And 3 times, we're going to see it right here in chapter 2, so 25% of the time. So James is trying to send us a message right here. And, obviously he wrote a book of the Bible. He sent us, you know what I'm saying there. But, so what is favoritism? Well, I think we can all define it, can't we? I mean, we know what it is. And here's a definition I found from an article. It says, to give preference to one person or group over others, and here's a key thing, with equal claim. Now, you can never guess in my 37 year coaching career, I started coaching when I was 18, what's the number one complaint I get a lot? He plays favorites. You ever heard that?
He didn't play my son.
Yeah, he didn't play my son. He's playing favorites. And again, they all have equal standing on the team they're all on the team, but that with equal claim, because they don't forget, well, I'm at practice every day, all that. But anyway, so that's beside the point. But yeah, favoritism, preferencing one group over the other. Does it happen? Yeah. I see it all the time. I see favoritism in all sorts of forms and things in society. And favoritism can be shown in many forms. I saw examples of some of this, what I'm going to read to you right here. Let's see. Here are some other words for favoritism. Discrimination. Could be on, like I said, I probably got discriminated on jobs. Scott, you're too young. Scott, you're too old. There's discrimination. Of course, obviously, when we think of discrimination, we think of race. So, there's a lot of things. Prejudice, a preconceived opinion that's not based on reason or actual experience. For example, one thing I try to do, and I'm not the most perfect teacher in the world, but unfortunately, there is a preconceived notion about coaches in the classroom. Am I not right? And it's not a positive one, is it? And I always said when I started out, I wanted to make sure, because one of my best teachers I had in high school was a coach. I'm talking about in the classroom. And so I kind of modeled that off that. So that's an example of prejudice. We know what that is. Just, I'm not going to like any freshman in my class because all freshmen are immature. That's an example of prejudice. It turns out, like I said, I was worried about it. My freshman class I start the day off with, it's probably like I said, they're a good group, and I really enjoy teaching them. So, so we know what prejudice is. Some other words here. Chauvinism. That's support for one's own gender. Bigotry. Intolerant towards those who hold different opinions from oneself. So there's all forms of favoritism. And let's look at what James is saying right here in 2 verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect to persons. So with respect to persons, basically what he's saying is favoritism. Or, my brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with prejudice. All those words I mentioned right there, right? It's hard to do, isn't it? So I think it's something right there. Favoritism here, and again, this is from a pastor's article I found on one of his blogs, and I thought it was really, really good. Favoritism shows spiritual immaturity. It dishonors all people, it dishonors people. But there's a way that we can overcome favoritism, and that's mercy, which I have in parentheses there, compassion. And that's one of the things there. And again, I'm going to speak from an educator point of view, and again, this is just from my experiences that I've observed over a nearly 30-year career in the business, and that's I see